The eighth item needing consideration today is consider approving the employment contract for Todd Hollenbeck as Mesa County Administrator effective January 4th, 2025. We do have our Commissioner Davis here to present. Cody, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So today we're going to approve the contract for Todd Hollenbeck as our next county administrator. Won't take effect until January 4th of next year. So we have this long transition, a decent sized transition. I first wanted to start with describing the difference between city council and their manager and the county commissioners and their manager. First of all, the city council acts as a legislative body only. They govern by adopting budgets, referring tax majors to voters, setting policies, and hiring the city manager, who acts as the executive of the city. The city manager is by de facto measure the mayor of the city of Grand Junction. Now they elect their own mayor, but he acts as the executive for the community. The commissioners are much different. The commissioners are elected as the executives of the county. It's why we work full time. It's why we get salaries. Many counties do not even have managers, and commissioners act as heads of those departments and sometimes multiple departments. So the position of county manager, in my view, is more like a chief of staff for a president. The president is elected as the executive branch, and he hires a chief of staff to help run the daily business of the president. And the county manager is much like that. The commissioners are the executives. Sometimes I refer to us as the three-headed executive. We have to agree, at least two of us, on anything we do. But the manager runs the day-to-day and helps us affect our legislative and executive functions here. So whereas the city has had a much more public process as they go through their selection of a city manager, it's because they are selecting their executive, whereas we are the executive. So ours is much more like a chief of staff, which goes through a much less public process, but we still want to be open and transparent with the process and how much money that we are spending. So that leads me to our candidate that we have selected, Todd Hollenbeck, who will take the helm in January. As our very capable county administrator now, Pete Bear, has decided to retire. And we thought when we started talking to Pete about this retirement plan, what a great opportunity to have a good, smooth transition where you don't have interims, you don't have interruption. We have 1,200 employees. So I want to say thank you to Pete for trying to allow this and prepare for the future well. He's done a marvelous job in this. So 5-month transition period approximately. Again, Hollenbeck can be instrumental in the budget this fall, the budget that he will ultimately manage next year. We had 16 candidates. I said 17 last week because we had a duplicate candidate, but Todd has this diversity, this diverse set of experiences that I think make him tailor-made for this position. He's served in criminal justice service. He's served in regional transportation within the county, served in public works, served as interim health director, served as in his administrative roles now as the deputy. I think it would be hard to find someone with a more diverse portfolio of experiences, coupled with his deep institutional knowledge, strong working relationship within our community. Again, I've said it once, but I'll say it again. Todd is tailor-made for this position. So open it up to comments.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Rowland, do you have any comments?
Yes, I fully support this. I've heard several people say this and I agree. Todd doesn't get his feathers ruffled. He is just calm and steady. Instead of focusing on the drama or chaos around him, he just solves the problem. He doesn't look at finding fault. He just simply solves the problem. He's led the county in many areas just in the last 4 years with our energy efficiency project. I'm really excited to see the return on investment for that. He was on top of the building of the 2 community centers at the same time in Clifton and De Beque while overseeing the remodels of our behavioral health building and probation, which allowed us to expand our courtroom. He suggested and oversaw the development of our facilities master plan. I don't believe Mesa County's ever done this in the past. I don't recall it. And not just the standard approach of looking at what buildings we might need in the future, but looking at innovative ways to have staff present, whether it's co-working space, touchdown space, hybrid working, so that we can do more with less space. When we heard builders asking for an electronic building inspection process here, the pushback was a lack of Wi-Fi coverage countywide, and he didn't let that stop him, and he's implemented Starlink on all of those trucks so that we can move forward with that way. And when we learned that Denver might be planning to send some of their illegal immigrants our ways, he not only suggested that we do the resolution, he collaborated with all the agencies who would have to deal with that should that happen. I could go on and on about the great work he's done for us, but for the sake of time, I'll stop. I will say he's a great team builder. He hires excellently qualified staff and then lets them do their job. He doesn't micromanage them, but he's always available to problem solve with them if that's the case. And just bottom line, he's a problem solver, and we're fortunate to have him lead Mesa County forward.
Thank you, Commissioner Rowland. Yes, I would just echo all of those comments and more. In my time here, Todd has been such an innovator, and he's done it with class. He's intelligent. He brings people together in ways that you don't often see. And I think that has real meaning and a lot of value. And he's so relational. Even when he's giving criticism or suggesting new ways to do things, people can really see where he's going and the vision that he's presenting because he is so relational. And that means something. That means something in the real world, and that means something in government. And we sure appreciate you, Todd. And I just want to say thank you, Pete, for leading this, initiating a lot of this, and even just bringing bringing Todd along as our deputy. Thank you for your wisdom and your insight, and we sure are excited about Team Mesa and where we're going to be next year. So thank you to both of you. I really appreciate your leadership on this. At this time, I will take public comment on this item. If there's any public comment, please come forward.
So Pete Bear, Mesa County Administrator until January 4th, the 3rd, and then Todd gets to take over. I think the board made an amazing selection. I've known Todd for the 24 years he's been here, sometimes working directly with him, sometimes just on working as co-workers on various components. He is amazing, as you guys mentioned. A couple things that I also want to throw out there. He's been very instrumental in our strategic plan, leading that. That strategic plan is a great plan that will continue on, and he will continue to work with that and modify it if necessary, but if not, it's the best strategic plan I've seen the county have. And as we move forward, he has credentials in education, his MPA, and he continues to work on making sure that he knows the latest and greatest and continues working through certificates in his master's programs that he has. So, and I could go on and on too, but suffice to say, Todd has been an integral part of Mesa County. Both of us started relatively close, same time frame. He started a few years after myself, and I've been able to observe him and watch him to the point as mentioned. A couple of years back, I had the opportunity to create a true deputy position, and without a doubt, no hesitation, Todd was my candidate and choice for that. A couple things to also say. The outreach is great to the community. So as a county, one of the things we have to do is work with all our partners, and particularly in the West Slope where we're kind of isolated. We need to work together to get things done. And Todd has an amazing ability to do that. He also has amazing ability, any project or hurdles come up, and he has an ability to work through those, work with the folks and get to it. So he's got a lot of great qualities. I think the board did a great vetting and worked through there and took it seriously and came up with the same conclusion that many of us have, that Todd is the perfect person for this to continue on. I am very happy as I've come out of this role that someone will remain in it that will continue to push the legacy. I think our last 4 or 5 years, we've been able to accomplish a lot and set a lot of foundational goals. Many of those were working with Todd and part of the foundational goals there. And I'm very excited to continue to watch the county grow and move forward with many of the great opportunities and projects we have. And as mentioned, we're dragging him hard into the budget process. So it will be a budget that he will help implement with the Board of Commissioners. And final thing I'll mention, this position also requires that you work with the other county elected officials. And I've seen Todd's outreach and ability to do that. You can't always say yes to them, but you can sure sit with them and talk with them and tell them why we can't quite get there, but here's an alternative. So yeah, I'll just close with 100% support. Great individual. He's put his heart and soul into the county already, and continuing on in this role, I think he'll do amazingly great things. And I think the board made a great choice for that. So thank you.
Thank you, Pete. Is there any other public comment on this item? Okay, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the item as entered into the record.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.